Hi Ryan, this is Ashley, and I looked over your paper today. So I have a few things to say, but before I go, I want to first um, congratulate you on your essay. I think you did a really good job and you tried really hard, so good job on that. I also like how you were able to, because this poem is quite difficult. Edgar Allan Poe is a very complicated poet, so you did a good job analyzing it and looking at rhetorical devices, so good job on that. Now I'm gonna go on to the criticism, I guess. Overall, you did a really good job, as I said before, but there are some things that I think you need to fix. Your overall grammar was okay. I understood the fluency of your essay, but there were some things. For example, you remember that when you have a subject, like a person, it's always gonna be, for example, the night who, not the night that. That is used for objects and those kinds of non-alive things. So also, you switch a lot between spelling El Dorado in one word and El Dorado in two words like this. But because Edgar Allan Poe himself used the El Dorado as one word, I think it's better if, I think it's better if we also just go with one word as well. So I try to keep that consistent. Remember to be consistent in your essay. But those things were very little. Overall, that was okay. But I think the main maybe problem that we have in this essay would be that you need to further go on with your ideas. I think that you have a really good basis structure because I also believe that symbolism and repetition are really important in this essay. But you only have one paragraph that focuses on both of these aspects, and in an essay, especially if you're going to give two different rhetorical devices, symbolism and repetition, you need to make sure to have two paragraphs that focus each on one thing instead of having symbolism here and repetition in the same paragraph. I think this whole paragraph is your main content, and I think this whole paragraph is your main content. That's the only thing, and I think it's a little bit too little to to prove your point in this essay. So I think you need to, first of all, you would have to split this. So you would have to make repetition a single paragraph by itself. And you would also have to, because you only have two sentences for this. So you need to further accentuate the ideas. And I know it's hard, but just think really hard look at the poem and think about why you use symbolism repetition. So for example, in symbolism, you talk about the shadow, right? And you talk about how it's ironic that the shadow is telling the man to ride to death, right? Well, you can further talk about that by illustrating why you think that's so, or if that shadow is a negative symbol, or if it's a positive symbol, if the poet is implying that death is something good, something that the man wants to do, what the knight plays. Like, try looking at different aspects and just talking more about it, okay? And for repetition, I think you definitely need more meat or content in this part. And so I like how you put in the example of this quote, "Where's Elena El Dorado?" But instead of just putting this in, now that you put that in, you should analyze it and talk about like why you think Poe repeated this sentence. Like, why is it important in this poem? So talk about why you think that this quote is important. And like, for example, how you also talk about the shadows appear in all four stanzas. Why does he emphasize the shadows, right? Like, the reason he used repetition is in order to prove a point, right? So talk about that. Just talk about why. So focus more on the why for both your symbolism and repetition. But overall, and I guess one more last thing would be for your conclusion. I think you would need to have, I understand that it's true that your conclusion should be similar to your introduction because it has to sum up what you stated in your introduction, but I think you need to reword it because your conclusion sentences are almost the exact same as introduction, and you want to reword them a bit so that they sound different and it's more of a summing up than a explaining, right? But all in all, I think you tried really hard on this essay, and I want to thank you. Yeah, for working on this. And this poem is really hard, so this is a really good job. And yeah, thanks a lot. Good luck.